players like Liverpool was an absolute. Let's not get crazy. Here we go. 3-team teaser. All 8. They just don't give a shit. Yeah. Welcome everybody out there.
Welcome back again.
We are back, We are back. It's been a long, tough international break.
Thank God it is over.
Thank God it is over, man. Thank God. Those international breaks are always tough. But I can personally say, like, the one that I find the most difficult though is the March international break, because they have it in September, October, and March throughout the season. And I've always thought the March one is the most difficult. It's like the end of the season. There's stuff going on. You're ready for that run-in. You want to see how these games play out, and boom, international break.
And
it just sucks.
But thank God it is over.
Thank God it's
now,
over.
The Premier League.
Oh, the Premier League is back.
It's back
All the leagues are back. I guess a real quick shout out to Scotland. A hell of a good win over Spain. That's just a brilliant win. They are in like I guess they're kind of coming into what we could say is a golden generation, maybe. I mean, they've got some good young players there. They definitely should qualify for the next Euro, so well done, Scotland. But yeah, moving on. Premier League. It is back. 10 fixtures, ready to go, so we're going to just jump right into it.
We're just going to jump right in. What do you want to start off with?
Well, let's start out with the early match here in Bangkok, the 6:30 p.m. Great kickoff time, because they've just had the time change in Europe, so the games have moved up 1 hour in Thailand now, which is even better. So we have a Saturday evening, 6:30 p.m. kickoff, Liverpool, Manchester City.
Liverpool against Man City.
Man.
What are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I want to say this. Since Klopp has been at Liverpool and Guardiola has been at Manchester City, like, these games have been so evenly balanced. Like, Liverpool have had their share of wins, Man City have had their share of wins. So if we look back at that kind of historically speaking, the last 6 years, these things can go either way. It's also difficult coming out of an international break, and it's even more difficult with the early kickoff coming out of an international break. You know, because players just haven't been back together, haven't had a chance to train for many days, many training sessions. So let's see what happens. I'll just get this off my chest right off the bat. I do like Manchester City to win this game.
You do like Manchester City to win.
So I'm just going to come right out and say that. I think it will be tight. Liverpool aren't going to lay down. They'll be competitive, but I still can't, even though now it's been 3 weeks, I still can't get past how shockingly bad Liverpool were in that game against Bournemouth 3 weeks ago. I can't let that one go until I see them on the pitch again performing better. In Manchester City, have been in great form right now. They've won a lot of matches 6-0, 5-0, and they've also won a lot of matches 1-0 as well in this run that they're on. So they're playing with confidence. They know it's now or never. For the title. It's April 1st, that game's going to kick off on April 1st. If it doesn't happen, if they drop points, if it doesn't happen, it ain't going to happen now. So they know that they have to take advantage of any single opportunity that Arsenal may give them. Not saying they'll get that opportunity, but if Arsenal have a slip, Man City have to be ready to take advantage. I like Man City.
Yep, and it's also going to be held at the Etihad Stadium.
It's at the Etihad, yeah.
It's at Man City's home.
Yep.
So I think it's going to give Man City a little advantage.
Yeah.
And it's just like what you just mentioned. They need to take it now. Now it's their chance.
Yeah.
They can't just, if this game ends up as a draw,
it's not good enough.
Nothing's going to happen for Man City.
Yeah, they've got to keep pressure on Arsenal.
They got to get 3 points from this game to keep Arsenal's in the pressure.
Absolutely. And even that might not be good enough for Man City, because there's a bit of a gap now, but they've got to at least win this game. The only concern for Man City is they do have some injury problems. Like, I have read that Holland, for example, he might not be available for this game. He didn't play for Norway in the international break. So, you know, they could have some fitness issues there with their first 11. That certainly is something that could work to Liverpool's advantage. But again, with that said, I'm still going for a Man City win in this game.
You're still going for Man City?
I am. I guess I'll just say 2-1.
2-1?
2-1. Yeah, I do think it'll be a tight game, but I'm going to go for 2-1.
You know what? 2-1 is a It's a kind of a good pick, but I'll say this. I'll say 3-2.
3-2?
3-2 Man City.
Okay. Well, in the earlier match this season at Anfield, it was a 1-0 win for Liverpool. Salah got a goal in the second half to win it for Liverpool. They played really well that day. Really, really well. I'm not sure that they're going to be able to repeat that performance against Man City this time. So let's go for a Man City win and see what happens. But I'm looking forward to this game.
You're looking forward to this game?
Absolutely. There should be some kind of like tactical battles. There's always small tactical battles when Klopp and Guardiola go up against each other. In this game, I think is going to be no different. It'll be curious to see what Liverpool's first 11 is going to be. Because there's a few different things that Klopp could do. There's even some small talk that Luis Diaz could be back for Liverpool in this game. He's been out now for I think 5 months, 6 months, and he's their key player. So that could be something to keep an eye on as well. But I'm not sure he's going to play. We'll have to find out. But looking forward to that one. So a lot of other matches to look at in the Premier League.
Now,
Sunday night, the big match: Newcastle United, Manchester United.
Newcastle United, Manchester United.
Yeah, these two teams just met in the League Cup final.
League Cup final.
Right, and it was a pretty straightforward, I can even say easy win for Manchester United. I thought Manchester United played well in that game. I thought Newcastle were pretty poor in that game. This one's going to be different. It's at St. James's Park. Newcastle have won their last 2 in the Premier League. Very tight, but they have won them. That'll give them a bit of confidence. I'm going for a draw here.
You're going for a draw?
I'm going for a draw, yeah. Newcastle, I mean, they're top 4 right now. They're just, how many points are they behind Man United right now?
They are like 3 points.
It's really tight between the two sides. Yeah, I feel comfortable at a draw in this game.
Well, you know what? You remember the game Newcastle against United, right?
I do.
So, when Newcastle conceded the goal,
they
didn't stop holding the game. They're just keeping pushing on for goals.
That's right.
Even they're 2-0 up, even they concede two goals.
Right.
They still pushing.
The
problem with them is they just can't finish.
They've had a problem with that all season long.
To be fair, though, I think their playing style is quite good, though. To be fair, because they didn't lose the momentum yet. They still keep on. They keep attacking. They keep on pushing forwards. Well,
correct.
This is going to be it. And also, they got Nick Pope back.
They got Nick Pope back.
He's back. So, I think this game could be.
What are you thinking, man? It's kind of a difficult one to call. The reverse fixture of this match, which was back in October at Old Trafford, was a 0-0 draw. The first match between the two seasons.
But this is at St. James's Park.
This is at St. James's Park. This one's definitely trickier to call. Let's talk a little bit about Manchester United. Okay, they had the FA Cup win over Fulham a couple weeks ago, but let's not kid ourselves. They were terrible in that game. Fulham went mental, absolutely mental, and it all fell apart like a house of cards for them. If Fulham had their shit together and kept their cool, they probably would have won that game, or at least sent that game to extra time.
You're right.
At minimum. So, Man United caught a huge break in that game. Huge break. So, you factor in that game. You factor in this international break that just happened. Now, Newcastle's last 2 in the Premier League have required a bit of luck as well. One of them was a 2-1 win over Wolves, where they scored a late goal to win it. Mm-hmm. And the other one was a 2-1 win over Nottingham Forest, which also required a late goal to win it. Really late goal. Really lucky penalty late goal. So I don't just want to focus on Manchester United, maybe having a hint of luck recently, because Newcastle definitely were living on the edge in those 2 games. So that even makes it more difficult to call. I feel comfortable saying a draw on this one.
Well, it's got a draw written over it, but I still think United's going to have something to make
a bit of magic to win it.
A bit magical to get that 3 points.
Could happen. We've seen that happen a few times this season, where Man United have nicked a game. Maybe Marcus Rashford gets a goal. To your point, because Newcastle have problems scoring goals, if Man United score first in this game and go up 1-0, it is going to be difficult for Newcastle United, because they have problems scoring goals. They really, really do. And if Man United get 2 goals, well, then good night. So, I would say this has to be a 1, either for Newcastle to get anything in this game, they've either got to win it 1-0 or they've got to have a 1-1 draw. or I guess a 0-0 draw as well, which could happen, but I think there will be a goal in this game. But that's it. If this game goes to 2 goals, if Manchester United gets 2 goals,
it's over.
I don't see Newcastle getting 2 goals. I don't see it. So that's an interesting one to look at. So you'll go for Man United. I'm going for Newcastle.
Yep.
All right. So Spurs. We got to talk about Spurs.
Spurs.
They're
okay,
playing
Spurs.
Everton.
Spurs are playing Everton
at Goodison Park. That's the Monday night game.
Okay.
Okay. So Spurs had a lot going on during this break. We touched on the Conte issue in the last video. Well, now it's come to a head. Well, it hasn't even come to a head. It's finished. Conte's gone. He left by mutual consent. By the way, we talked about in the last video how Spurs were most likely going to let him see out the year because if they sacked him, they had to pay him.
Yep.
But because they came to this agreement with him, mutual consent is what they called it. Spurs don't have to pay him.
Okay.
You know, essentially they said, Conte said, I'm walking away. Spurs said, okay, mutual consent. And they just ripped up the contract right then and there. And that's it. So I think that's why Spurs let it happen now, because Conte was willing to walk away. All right. So I was reading a bit up on this story. And there was a real fascinating story I read about what was going on with Conte and Spurs, and I just want to share this with our audience real quick.
Here we go.
Apparently, this guy had ridiculously difficult training sessions. He's always had a reputation for tough training, but I feel like in these cases, let me put it this way. I don't think he was doing this at Inter Milan and Chelsea. So what was going on was he was training the Spurs players every single day. Every single day. And by every single day, I mean match days included.
Match days included.
Match days included.
Holy cow.
Yeah. Apparently, Spurs were going 2 to 3 hours full training session in the morning of match days. And it all makes sense now because Spurs were ridiculously bad in the first half of their Premier League games this season. If you look over the course of their, I guess, 28 games they played so far in the Premier League.
This in the video as well.
Spurs were awful in the first half, and then in the second half they'd start to perform better. And it was a pattern that was going on. Well, now we know why. It's all become clear. Conte was training these guys at full speed on the morning of match days, which is insane, especially for modern day footballers. I mean, maybe 80 years ago you could get away with that shit, but not now. You know, these guys aren't going to go for that. I guess when Conte first started doing it, Spurs players were kind of open to it because, okay, Conte's a winner. He's won a shitload of trophies, so they're going to respond to that. And they said, let's give this guy a chance. We're going to have success with him. Whatever he says, we're going to do. And so they were kind of in on it. Mm-hmm. But as the time went on, it became clear that it wasn't working. These training sessions just simply were not working, especially the training session on match days. So going forward, I think Conte will have to maybe adjust his ideas that he uses with his next club. And I think whoever Spurs bring in as their next manager, which, by the way, who do you think that's going to be?
Mario Pochettino.
That's what everyone's thinking is Pochettino. It definitely could happen. He could be coming back home. I think that'd be a good hire, actually, Pochettino.
It's going to be a great deal for them.
Yeah, it just ticks the boxes. Like, I think Spurs and Daniel Levy regretted sacking him. Like, he had a really bad run in the Premier League. Fair enough. He had a really, really bad run. But since he's left, it's been
disaster.
Catastrophic. But
okay.
I guess I don't want to say that because, okay, they did finish in the top 4 last season. Fair enough. They did do that. But they haven't been close to winning any trophies since he left. They haven't been close to any trophies at all. So
their cabinet's still empty.
The cabinet's, oh God, that is collecting dust. So since the turn of the millennium, they have 1 trophy since the turn of the millennium.
Okay.
That says it all right there. So I like Pochettino. There was a talk of some other guy, Julian Nagelsmann from Eintracht Frankfurt and Bayern Munich. He was at in the past. They were talking about maybe him, but I think Pochettino's the guy. And I think if he comes in, the players will be excited about that.
I think so.
Yep.
Harry Kane, his old lads.
Harry Kane, yeah, definitely. Maybe he can get Son go. Son's had a bad season. Son, I like Son a lot. He's had a bad season, man. Maybe Pochettino can get him going.
Yeah, maybe if his old boss is back.
That's right.
You'll bring him back.
That leads us into Monday night. Everton had a real nice 2-2 draw with Chelsea their last match. A ridiculous result for Chelsea. We talked about it in the last video.
We did.
Yeah, but a nice one for Everton. They fought hard in that game. So Okay, they have made a bit of confidence right now. What do you think? Spurs and Everton.
Even though Everton magically go to be draw against Chelsea,
Yep.
I think it's a bit lucky for Everton.
Oh, it was a lucky draw.
Because Kepa was absolutely trashed in that game.
He was trash. He was
But
trash, yeah.
Spurs, I think they're cheap in conceding goal as well. I think this game, you know what? I think Spurs going to win.
Spurs
is going to be a winner, 100%.
Okay, I'm going to agree with you on that. I'm going to go for a Spurs win here as well. I mean, since Sean Dyche has come in, Everton definitely have been better, much, much better. And they still have a good chance of avoiding relegation. But I feel like Spurs in this game are going to have a point to prove. I'm going to go for a Spurs win as well.
So we're going for
Spurs win.
Let's see who can nail the score.
Oh, God.
Here we go.
2-0.
2-0.
2-0 Spurs.
I would say 3-1.
3-1.
3-1 Spurs.
Okay, let's see how it plays out. I don't want to completely discount Everton in this game, though, by the way. It's one, I do like Spurs to win, but let me put it this way. I'm not putting money on this game. I'm not going to put any money on this game. So I do like Spurs, but I don't like them enough to put my money down on it. But I do think they'll win it.
They'll win it?
I do. Yep. So we'll go for a Spurs win there. A few other games to talk about. Chelsea with Aston Villa. We were talking about Chelsea a bit just a moment ago. They've drawn Real Madrid in the Champions League. Okay. They had a bad, ugly 2-2 draw with Everton. They've had this international break now. They're playing at home. Aston Villa, what do you think?
This game, I'm telling you now, there is no chance for Chelsea to win. No, absolutely no chance.
They are toxic right now.
They are hilarious right now.
Yeah.
I think Aston Villa is going to win. You know,
they could. They certainly could.
If Aston Villa scores first, because you know their goalies, Emiliano Martinez, he is the king of a bloody time wasters.
Oh, it's very true. Very true.
Every time when I go against the other team, against Villa, and when Martinez had the ball and he was like time wasting, and I was like, what the hell? Keep on playing, you mother! And it just keeps me mad. But now, I think Aston Villa against Chelsea. If Aston Villa scores first, I think Aston Villa can keep the score, the score line like that, because we've got the time wasters. We've got the playmakers. Buendia. Buendia started to perform very well.
Oh yeah, very well.
Because when he was newly started in Aston Villa, I don't think he's going to make it. But somehow, he just keep performing until I think he's in his greatest form right now.
I like the way Villa have played the last 2 months. They've had a few losses in that time, but even in their losses, they've played well in those games. So yeah, I agree. I like Villa as well. I am going to go. I guess I'll go for a draw in this game. I'll go for a draw. Yeah. I'm sticking with a draw. But I do like the way Villa are playing. I like the way they're playing a lot.
Okay, that's a good point. But I don't think Kepa's gonna.
Another stinker from Kepa.
It's gonna be another stinker because I mean they just pulled an amazing draw against Everton, which is probably lucky for them to get a draw. But
Okay, so you like Villa in this game?
I really like Villa.
Okay, nice. Let's see what happens. That's not a bad pick, you know.
You know what? If you're feeling lucky, could be another side bet.
That's the way I look at it as well. Yeah, it's a good side bet. You know, if you're feeling lucky, Villa are a good shout. You know, because they are in good form right now. They're scoring goals. You know, since Unai Emery has come in, they've been banging in the goals, man, banging them in. So they're never out of any game because they have the ability to score goals. So Villa
wins. Scores. Here we go.
I'm going to go for a 2-2.
2-2 draw.
Yeah.
I'm going for 1-0 Aston Villa.
1-0 Aston Villa. Nice. So we've had a few opposite picks here, which is just fine. One more game I do want to talk about real quick. A big game at the bottom of the table. Really big game.
Which is?
Wolves and Nottingham Forest.
Wolves and Nottingham Forest.
The game is at the City Ground. It's in Nottingham.
It is at the City Ground.
One of Nottingham Forest's biggest strength this entire season is that when they need a result, they've been able to get one.
If they need it, they can do it.
If they need it, they get it. It's been going on all season long, and that's why, for the most part, they've stayed out of trouble. Now, they're still at the bottom of the table, of course, but they've never fallen into that dangerous relegation zone because they've always nicked a result when they need it. And I think this game is exactly one of those games that they've got to have. They have got to have it.
I mean, Wolves is trash right
Wolves
now.
are not playing well right now. But on the flip side of that, Wolves will be thinking, we've got to have this game as well. Both teams will be desperate for a win, absolutely desperate for a win in this match. But because they've been doing it all season, I do like Forest in this game. I do like Nottingham Forest. I like Nottingham Forest to win this game. Yep. What are you thinking?
You know what? This could be a draw.
It could be.
It could be a draw because the last time they were going against each other, it was a quarterfinals, right?
Correct.
It was a draw, 1-1 draw.
Yeah, 1-1 draw. Yeah, 1-1 draw.
So I think this game could be a draw.
I agree. It definitely could be. I do like Forest to win it, but yeah.
Neither do I. I would love if Forest could. If Forest
to your point, like Wolves will be desperate. These games at the bottom are always tricky because you're talking about desperate teams, looking for points, absolutely desperate. But I guess I'm not going to put my money on this one. But if you're feeling it out there,
you're feeling it, okay?
I would suggest a Forest win.
Okay,
if you're feeling it,
Forest win. If you're feeling lucky.
If you're feeling lucky, if you want to roll the dice, maybe a side bet, maybe some side action. I'm going for 1-0 Nottingham Forest.
1-0 Nottingham Forest.
Yep, 1-0 Forest.
Well, it's at the City Ground.
It's at the City Ground. They've been tough there all season, really, really tough.
But yeah, their point is only 1 point.
Oh, I know it.
Each other.
Forest have kind of run into a tough patch right now. Probably playing their worst football this season right now, actually, Forest are. So they've got to get back on track. They've got to get back in there. So I'm really looking forward to that game. Okay, one more we'll talk about. Arsenal at home with Leeds. Arsenal top of the table. They're flying right now. They've won 6 straight, but I think their last four of those 6 have been really, really easy, really smooth, easy wins. They're flying right now. Leeds are one of these teams that man, they are unpredictable. I do like Arsenal to win this game. I do like them.
It's at the Emirates.
It's at the Emirates. Leeds can score goals. That's the thing.
They can.
We know that Leeds can score goals, so they're never out of any game. This is one that is, to me, this is one of those games that should be a straightforward win for Arsenal, but you just never know in football. I'm going for an Arsenal win, but, and this is a but, if Leeds were to pop up and get a result, I would not be surprised.
You would not be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, neither do I. I would hear me out.
Yep, lay it on me.
I would say this one could be a draw.
Well,
this one is going to be
keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, this is the man that said Bournemouth was going to beat Arsenal a couple weeks ago, and frankly, they should have beaten them. They were desperately unlucky in that game, but with that said, they played really well enough to at least get a draw in that game. So if this man, if you're thinking Leeds, it's not a bad shout at all.
I think it's going to be a draw.
Okay.
It's going to be a draw.
Okay.
If it's going to be a draw, it's going to be like 1-1 draw or 2-2 draw.
1-1 draw, 2-2, yeah. Keep in mind, I mean, England, Saka just played 2 tough matches for England against Italy and Ukraine. Really tough. I mean, he was in those games. He played amazing in those games, by the way. But he was out there, given everything. So now he's got to turn around, after a lot of these players have been resting during this break, this international break, and he's just come off of 2 tough matches. So maybe he'll be a bit fatigued out there. Yeah, let's find out.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, he could have some muscle fatigue.
Just
Arsenal players, they're most of them are on international break.
Correct. Yeah.
So
correct.
They could have the fatigue going on.
That's
and
what
Leeds.
these international breaks make it tough sometimes to pick these games.
If Arsenal if they're gonna follow her.
Yeah, you kind of feel
the game.
Yeah, correct. Like Arsenal, they're in a great position to be champions, great position. But if there was going to be a slip somewhere along the way, it kind of feels like this could be the one. It could be. So let's wait and find out. But I'm going for an Arsenal win, but I'm not confident about saying that.
What about the scores?
2-1.
2-1?
2-1, yeah.
Okay, 2-1.
2-1.
But
what are you thinking?
You know what? I'm just going to pick one. I said 1-1 or 2-2.
Okay,
I'm
1-1, 2-2.
For 1-1.
1-1. Nice.
Let's see.
So, 3-team teaser.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Our signature is back.
I'm throwing it out there. So, we were just talking before the video. Actually, because the international break and just because of this match day, these were some tough matches to call. Some tricky ones to call.
They are bloody tough.
This is a tough week in the Premier League to be putting money on. But I am putting my money down. And this is my 3-team teaser that I'm going with.
Here we go.
Manchester City over Liverpool.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm throwing that out there.
Okay.
Yep, I'm
City
throwing
against Liverpool.
Manchester City over Liverpool.
Okay, City.
West Ham over Southampton.
West Ham over Southampton?
Yep, I'm throwing that out there. Southampton are battling. They're hanging in there. You know, usually at this time in the Premier League, we know 1 or 2 teams that are going down, and Southampton are at the bottom of the league right now. But man, they are battling.
But the gaps were just like less than 3 points.
I know it's less than 3 points, but I do like West Ham in this game. I got a feeling West Ham are going to get against Southampton. And the other one I'm going for is a team that's in really bad form. Well, 2 teams that are in really, really bad form, but one of them's going to have a new manager bounce. I'm going with Roy Hodgson and Crystal Palace over Leicester City. Oh my God. That's it. New manager bounce, Crystal Palace over Leicester City.
Guys, usually
going.
the earlier episode we're going for safe choices.
Yep.
But this week it's bloody. Now it's effing intense.
It's definitely intense. These are tough choices, tough games. But listen, Crystal Palace haven't won a game in 2023, which is ridiculous,
but
absolutely ridiculous. But
Roy
now
Hodgson.
they've got Roy Hodgson back. I think they're going to be full of energy. He's been training with these guys now for a couple of weeks. Leicester City are in terrible form right now. Terrible form. I think Palace are going to be energized, refreshed, ready to go. They're going to have that support behind them. I like the Eagles.
You like the Eagles?
I like the Eagles.
Okay,
I like them. Yep, I'm going for a Palace win. 2-0.
2-0.
2-0 Crystal Palace.
Oh my God, that's a big call.
Yep, 2-0 Crystal Palace over Leicester City. And I'll say West Ham over Southampton. 1-0.
Just 1-0.
Just 1-0.
You know what? This
Just
game,
1-0.
if Ward-Prowse has a chance to score, if he had a chance to,
man, you never know with James Ward-Prowse out there. You just never know. I mean, keep in mind, Southampton are coming off of that incredible 3-3 draw with Spurs. You know, Conte went mental after the game. James Ward-Prowse penalty, which, by the way, I still don't understand how that was a penalty. It's great that Southampton got it, fair play to them, but I still don't understand how that was a penalty.
Sometimes referee just destroys football.
And VAR even looked at that and they said penalty. It made zero sense that was a penalty. But anyway, Southampton, good point for them, 3-3 draw. So they'll have a bit of confidence, but I just got a feeling West Ham are going to get this one.
By the way, what's the manager of the Brentford's name? Well, what's his name?
From Brentford.
Yep.
Thomas Frank.
Yep, Thomas Frank. Yep, talking about Ward-Prowse, Thomas Frank says that the best left free kick taker for now is at PSG. It's Messi.
Yep.
But for the best right free kick taker now he's at Southampton.
How can you argue with that? You can't.
How can you just...
Yeah, I do know that the most Premier League free kick goals of all time is David Beckham. He has 18.
But now...
James Ward-Prowse is on 17. So one more, he's going to tie David Beckham. One more.
Will he be able to do it against West Ham?
Right, and keep in mind, it's important that he can at least get one more this season, because if Southampton are relegated, and he could move down to the Championship.
Oh yeah.
You know, so he'll want to get one more this season, free kick goal.
So he can tie with Beckham.
So he can tie with Beckham.
Or maybe
even pass.
There's still quite a chance for Ward-Prowse to break the record.
Absolutely.
I think he can. What do you think about it? Do you think he's going to do it?
Yeah, because even if Southampton were relegated, I would think somebody from the Premier League would come in and buy him. I would think so. So eventually, yes, he'll get that record.
But do you think if someone's going to buy him, do you think he's going to go? Do you think he's going to leave? Remember that he was at Southampton since he was a little kid, like 8 years old.
I think at this point in his career, like, he knows he's too good for the Championship. He's too good for it. So yeah, I think sadly I do think he would leave. I think he would leave? Yeah. I think a team like Brighton, he'd do great at Brighton. That'd be a great fit for him.
That's a good call.
But that's still a long way away. We're
just predicting.
We're just throwing things out there. Yeah. But I'm going for a West Ham win, Crystal Palace win, Manchester City win. That's my 3-team teaser.
It's quite risky though.
It is risky.
If we pull it off,
it's
gonna be a sweet chunk of money.
Sweet action on that one. So I like that. If you're looking for some other side bets to throw out there where you could get some action, some good paydays, yeah, definitely Leeds getting a draw against Arsenal. That could be a really interesting side bet. Aston Villa beating Chelsea. That could be a really interesting side bet as well. There could be some nice action there.
Could be some nice action going on here.
Oh, absolutely. Even though we both like Spurs, even if you want to get real risky, if you want to put a little bit of money down on Everton to beat Spurs in that game, it wouldn't be a bad pick. You know, we don't know how Spurs are going to respond. I like them to win, but let's face it, they're still not a very good team right now. So Everton could possibly win that game. So that could be an interesting side bet.
Anything could happen.
Anything could happen.
But yeah, we're still going for it. We're still going for it.
So we're still going for it. So that's it. I'm really excited having the Premier League back. Looking forward to all of these games that are going on this week, and I'm going to be enjoying it. And I hope everybody out there has the best of luck and hit some winners.
Hit some winners.
Hit some winners, man.
So we'll get some money action going on.
Absolutely. Get some money going. And we'll be back very soon next week. We'll recap the Premier League, and we'll be talking about upcoming matches as well. So I think that's it.
So I think we should do it for today.
Absolutely.
Yep. So
everybody out there,
tell us what you think as well.
Yep.
Don't forget to tell us what you think. If you have another opinion about our prediction, don't forget to tell us down below in the comment section down below.
Absolutely. Get those comments, and we love them.
We love them. Teacher Mark loved it.
Teacher Mark loves them. Yep. Fasai loves them. So yeah, get them out there. Like and subscribe, and we'll be back very, very soon. So keep safe out there.
Keep it safe.
Adios.
Adios. Peace. Brilliant.